Good morning. How's it going, everyone? How's everybody doing? You guys checking on your hearts? Because it's a disaster out there. Whew. You know? Anyways, let's just begin this beautifully. Good morning. How's everyone doing? Let's just, we're talking about the subconscious mind and I'm gonna go a little bit deeper today because I'm pretty over the ugliness on this planet. I mean, how long is it gonna take for people to stand up for themselves? It's becoming very painful to watch. How can people just let my goodness. How can people just allow themselves to be carpets? Now the children are involved, and now the children have to suffer. To push people to stand up. Dogs protect children better than parents are protecting children. Honestly, the way it's looking out there. What is going on? Is nobody worthy to take care of the innocence of the children? Or is it just blinded? Or are the people just blind from seeing this assault on the children and humanity? I can see this so clearly. And it's, blows my mind how much it takes for anyone to stand up for themselves. It's a part of my purpose on this planet. I've always been there to help people stand up for themselves. Because it's like, dude, stand up for yourself. Speak up for yourself. Speak up for yourself. Is it lack of worthiness? Is that what's going on? People don't feel worthy enough to stand up for themselves. People don't feel worthy enough to stand up for your child. Just look at this. What is blocking people, majority of the people, for speaking up for their well-being as they're being attacked by the high-ups? Nothing is supposed to be the way it is. It is just the way it is because we are allowing this to happen. When will we put our foot down? They are shifting the consciousness to stupidity. Are we really going to allow our planet to be taken over by idiocracy? Honestly, we need to look at this. And this is why I do these videos, because the purpose of these videos is to teach people how to stand up for themselves, how to speak their truth. What is right? What is wrong? Feel it in my heart. Feel it in your heart. There's this one time I was over there in Vegas, and I was going to put gas, and they told me they wouldn't serve me because I wasn't wearing a mask. And I refused to do that. I refused it. And I told them, I said, how are you not to serve me gas? They said, well, you're not wearing a mask. And I said, well, that doesn't work anyway. So I just need this much on that over there. And I said, no service. And I was like, are you joking me? Is this are you serious? I was like, this is against the Constitution and this is against my rights. And you know what happened? The woman came, the manager came, and I went to the manager and I was like, look, what are you, a hero of obedience? Because it does not work. Okay? And I'm not going to play your game. I do not consent in the game that you are playing here. This game of darkness you have going on. And she said, no, well, I'm not going to serve you. Call the governor. This was in Las Vegas. And I said, no, I'm talking to you. I said, look inside your heart right now. I said, look inside of your heart. Is this the right thing to do? Look at me. Look at me and look inside of your heart. Is this the right thing to do? And you know what she told me? She said, she looked at me and she said, no, actually she couldn't look at me. She couldn't look at me. She looked at the ground, honestly. And you know what she said? She said, it's not the right thing to do. but I'm still going to do it. And she walked away. And I was like, what? Anyways, I ended up going next door and I was served by the grace of the Creator. And then you know what happened? Because she told me to call the governor. And I did my prayers. And you know what happened? 3 days later, the governor of Nevada went on television and removed the entire mask mandate for the whole state. Do you hear me? Okay? This is how powerful prayers are. And it doesn't seem like everyone is doing their prayers. You know? I just wanted to share that story, you know, because there's so much going on out there. And although I'm not a part of it, I still have compassion for humanity and what they are experiencing through this transition. It will all be over once we come together and stand up for ourselves. And that's why I'm making these videos, so everybody can learn to stand up for themselves. Everybody can learn to speak their truth, because my heart is being broken every day to hear about these children who are just being brutalized by this kind of behaviors, and no one is standing up for them. I have to do a lot of balancing. Prayers, more prayers. If we would all just do our prayers, Creator of all that is, please. Infinite Spirit, please. Jesus, please. Buddha, please. Whoever you pray, higher power, please help me. Higher power, please help my family. Help protect us through these dark times from the evil ones. Protect us, please. When will people begin to pray to the higher power for help and protection? Because the children are being brutalized. And it's not a beautiful picture. It's very ugly. Okay? Anyways, I just wanted to say that, to just release that from my inner world, because it's becoming heavy. And now that I've released it, I am free from that, and I will do more powerful prayers. And whoever else is out there and who prays, we must walk in prayer. You know, I'm just going to take this video to talk about my journey then, okay? Because I know we're talking about the subconscious mind, and also the subconscious mind creates then the pain body, and the pain body is what is triggered, and then we'll talk about the pain body too, as I help guide others to their purest potential in standing in their power, okay? But I guess the universe wants me to speak on these things here, you know? Many times I was up against the demons, okay? My world is a lot different than many other people's worlds. I live in the spiritual realm. I can see demons, I can see angels, I can see dark forces, and they always come after me, you know? I know that I come off as a beautiful person, but I am always in war with these demonic creatures. And it's not in this realm, okay? It's in another dimension. And you shift dimensions by perception. The higher perception, the higher dimension you see. Okay? I don't look through third dimensional eyes. I look through seventh dimensional eyes of what is occurring, why is occurring, and what forces are in front of me. Is it a dark force, or is it a force of light? Okay? If it is a force of dark, therefore I know the Creator has called upon me to clean this space. All right? And you just simply clean the space by prayer. Okay? I have my own commands, I have my own powerful prayer, but you must, to use the prayers that I use, you must sit in worthiness for the power to be activated of that. Okay? Many times I say, you know, they come and attack me. A lot of demons. This planet is infested with demons. Okay? And they come through human beings. The human beings who have low vibration become portals for these demonic beings to be able to sit in front of my presence. Okay? And until I see you, which is immediately, basically, but I always give opportunity to speak to me. No matter what kind of demon you are, I see sitting in front of me, I'll still give you an opportunity to speak. And then when I've had enough, I'll command it to be gone. That's all you gotta do. But you have to align. You have to know your worthiness. And then you come with the power of the light, and it will be over. And that is why I said I'm making these videos, and I'm trying to teach. I'm doing my best to teach as many warriors of the light how to use their power. It comes from the heart. And it is directed by the mind. Okay? It is an invisible war. It is a spiritual war that is happening in front of all of our faces. And we're being distracted on what it truly is. Okay? The forces of darkness gather their powers by our fear. The more fear humanity has, the more power the darkness has. Okay? Darkness has no power of their own. They steal it from fear and the children. Okay? But this is like advanced knowingness of the spirituality. But I really want to present this today because everything is speeding up and the children are suffering tremendously. How come dogs protect children more than parents protect children? This is really, although I love dogs, and the dogs are actually God, a version of God, spelled backwards. Dog is God. And if you watch the dog, you can see the essence of God. You can learn the virtues of God. You can learn loyalty. You can learn forgiveness. You can learn everything. Unconditional love. Just take space. Watch the dog. Feel the dog. And you feel the presence of God through the dog. Everything is perspective. Perception. Everything is perception. Okay? All right? So you need to start shifting your perception to seeing deeper of what is occurring. Life is not happening to us. We are creating this. And as a collective humanity, as we continue to run away in fear and doubt, we give them all of our power. Why do we surrender so easily? Where is the faith of the higher power? You know, on this journey, I crossed paths with so many people, so many different beliefs. You know, I believe in this, I believe in that, I believe in this. And then when the time comes, everybody who had all this power in their talk, I see no one standing. Where is everyone? Where is everyone who say they are so aligned with God, or they're so aligned with Jesus, or they're so aligned with Buddha? Because that's the same team, right? The team of the light. Where is the team of the light? Where are they? Because when you're walking around, everybody, they go to church, they go do whatever, the meditation, they do all this stuff, and oh yeah, I'm just one with the light. Okay, well, the war is right now. The war is today. The war is happening. Where is all of your faith? Where is all of your worthiness? Where is all of your power? The power of the word. Where is that? I don't see much. Every time I stand up for myself, I make big deal. You know why? Because I am one with God and I will stand with the light forever. I will go down with the light. But the thing is, the light's not going to go down. The light will be the only thing standing left after this. Because this entire planet will be cleansed of its darkness. And those who carry the power of the light in your heart, I'm here to tell you, it is time to rise. Speak your truth. Stop hiding from those complainers and those who we need to walk on eggshells because of their feelings. They need to heal themselves. Anyways, I just wanted to spend this video just expressing myself like that. So thank you for listening. Because in the end, it's all good. We just need to take back our power. Anyways, time's up. Peace and blessings to all. Love and aloha.